next question is mine. It says, Sandy has a strong case of imposter syndrome that she can't shake. No, she can't. She goes out of her way to prove to the people of Rose City that she's just as good as them, no matter what it costs her. When will it stop? I don't think it'll stop. I think that Sandy is a person who has been traumatized by the fact that she got pregnant by somebody who everybody was like, he gonna be a baller. You know, he got an NBA contract and then it fell through because he had a busted up leg due to a DUI that he got for himself. And then it was like she was stuck in that situation. And it was at one point, a couple chapters, chapters forward, because I was thinking like I wrote that a few chapters back, but y'all ain't got there yet. Sandy's gonna have some reflection on how her mom treated her. It's like, well, you're pregnant, so I can't, marry you off to anybody else. And it's like, oh, okay, like I'm damaged property. So that was pretty much kind of what happened there. So I think in a lot of ways, she spent a lot of time trying to show people I'm just as good as you. Like she constantly feels like she has to prove herself. Frank doesn't come from that blue blood. He doesn't come from that family, those kinds of families, but he still did really well for himself. People will always look down on you if you didn't come from old money. And a lot of those people in Rose City, they come from old money. They come from very well-established names. Frank created something for himself, but people will still make little comments like, oh, he didn't marry like a guy in our circle. I mean, Frank is here now, of course, and you guys are doing good, but, he just didn't have the right pedigree. And so I think that's something that Sandy has always had to live with, people feeling like she married down, even though her life turned out fine. Girl, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you 1,000%. This has now become her life. This is her lifestyle. She's been living it for so long. Her daughters are grown, so it's been, well over 20 something years where she's been trying to prove to people like, yo, I'm just as good as y'all.
Right.
Yes. And really that she was holding it down because old boy didn't do what he was supposed to do. And she still had to keep up with the Rose City image and the house and all that. I'm sure he was able to do, bring in money and stuff, but it wasn't what they expected. Like he was supposed to be in the NBA and he was supposed to be, like doing his thing and blah, 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 whatever. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise because them Negroes be wilding out. They be like, they put their wives through the absolute worst. And
so do.
Could have praised it to her, so that could have ended.
Sandy would have been matching all types of energy.
Okay, matching every type of energy and be sitting. Malia and then would have had a totally different life in foster care. But I think it's kind of crazy. Me, I'm always, and Karina too. We like to stay in our lane. We definitely know how to budget. We ain't trying to impress no body. We just show up and we know how to dress up and
what it is
too. But we're not sitting there
trying to go broke trying to do it.
She has a mortgage, I have a rent. We're not going to be sitting there, well, I can't pay my rent this month because I had to get these shoes for this party that we was going to. Help me out, and, or she could make her more
try to impress people who don't like you with clothes that you can't afford.
Don't even like you. There is people that don't even like you. So yeah. This is a lifestyle for her at this point. Once you live a certain way for a while, it just becomes who you are. So it won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
We get that. The girls that love us.
Yes. Girl couldn't tell us nothing.
I'm telling you, if y'all would have saw how we used to act when we was teenagers, like we weren't like crazy girls, but music. Baby, we was always up on that new, like whenever it was the new songs, whatever, we was always going out buying new CDs. Like, people nowadays, we download music, we create playlists. We had to buy the CD, honey. Tower Records, Sam Goody. What was the other one?
You buy them cassettes, remember?
Yeah.
And we would sit by the radio and listen for our song and hit record. You could record mixtapes off the radio.
Off the radio.
Now that's how we did it. That was
maybe we would go and buy like a $2.99 single because we just really wanted the song.
Singles, yeah.
Girl, we were so like
you can get the whole
music.
CD, but I really like that song. But
girl, we were music crazy. So we knew every new song. Was trying to learn all the new dances. Had to know all the lyrics. Like nowadays, people just kind of mumble through his own, whatever. Like no, we was like word for word, lyric for lyric. Like, I don't know. Yeah. We was in our music, so
we sure enough was
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller Records. And then before that, remember Limit? It was No Limit before that.
No Limit, yeah.
Yeah, whatever was
Yeah.
popping at the time. I don't think we was ever on that bad boy energy though, were we? I remember the Death Row era. I remember No Limit.
Some bad boy, some of their artists, because Puffy was kind of like corny to us because he was doing a lot in the dancing and the shiny suits. We was like,
Right.
he has some pretty good artists, but like we was rocking with his artists more than him. I'm like, if you don't stay out the video, like get out the video, sir.
Right.
Yeah, but we was on to everything.
We sure enough
Yeah,
were.
Death Row, No Limit. A little bit of Bad Boy, definitely Cash Money Millionaires, baby. We saving those for the 99
for the 99
2000.
and the 2000.
We was on them big. We was on them so hard. We just love their music, so yeah, memories.
Camouflage clothes, even though No Limit did that first, but camouflage pants and tops and stuff, you know.
Because yeah, I just knew your mom was gonna shut that down because she shut everything down. It was just like, oh my god, none could be trendy.
You had to act like you didn't really care about it too much. Like if you just loved it, you were okay with. Come here.
Gotta lose it. She was gonna take, honey. She was gonna steal that joy. She was gonna steal.
God rest her soul. But yeah,
she was gonna steal any hand. I'm taking it. This is mine. Like you don't remember being a child growing up in the 1960s, 1970s, and really being into something. No, your mom just had she had amnesia. She forgot. We was going to suffer the wrath of her forget.
Right.
Okay, the next question is by it says Chan sending Malia's clothes to the dry cleaners made me think he was anticipating her waking up with buyer's remorse after that wild night. This was a stalling tactic to feel her out. What are your thoughts? I think that's really because I'm like, why would you send my clothes to the dry cleaners? And yes, his building is very luxurious and they have their own built-in washing service and dry cleaning service. But I was like, you took my panties? Like she had a little cute little G-string.
Probably kept the drawers, but sent everything else.
Right. So somebody's like, those are her panties? No, this is my ace bandage for my ankle. Stop looking too hard. Anyway,
panties like that. I'll be like, girl, what is you going through? How do you put that on? I just see it. I need a demonstration. Are they comfortable? Like
it's stretchy.
It's stretchy.
It's stretchy. You think it was a stall tactic? I think he definitely felt like she was gonna wake up. He knew she wasn't gonna feel good. So him sending her clothes off was like she won't be able to put her clothes on real quick and run off. Like, no, I got you here a little longer, sis.
Oh my God.
Maybe another round. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think it was a stall tactic. I definitely think he was trying to feel her out. I definitely think he thought she went crazy last night and acted like she was a professional. And he was like, she might wake up and be like, what was I thinking? And I was too soon to just whip it out on you like that. And he was like, yeah, let me go send them clothes off. Maybe he thought he was gonna win some brownie points too, but I'm like, I woke up, I ain't have no panties, no bra, my dress is gone. Like, are my shoes gone too? So,
and I wouldn't put that past him.
Either you ain't going nowhere.
He took everything else. So, yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. It was a stalling tactic. You know, I'm one of the people. Well, see, I don't do one night stand smashes like that, but if I were to wake up in that situation, I know I said I would be a little worried, but as far as action, you know, the action I would do, yeah, I would put on my clothes and be out the door before this Negro get back. Or even if he's in the living room, I'm gonna make a dash for it. Like I gotta run. Oh, I'll call you later.
I gotta dash for it.
So right, I gotta make a run. But it was definitely a stalling tactic. I think to take her there. Because he was too calm, laid back against the wall. It would be done in an hour or two. When did you send it off? Like, wow. And I already slept in till
Saturday.
Like
Saturday, it's busy. Like, you don't have to give me some of them windbreakers.
Saturday's busy. I'm like, what?
We need no draws. I go home.
That's funny. But yeah, it was definitely a stalling tactic, I believe. Keep her there and just a little bit longer, at least to try to feel her out. Like, okay,
yeah,
now, okay, she woke up, she got a little bit of attitude, but you know, she's not like saying like, okay, you know what, that's too much, I'm done, I don't know what I was thinking, I was out of my mind. No, so he needed to fill her out. And you're not going to go nowhere with no clothes. And Malia, baby girl, likes to dress, so it's not like she's gonna go home in a pair of his sweats and, be seen, make that walk of shame, or so to speak. She gonna need her shit. She needs her clothes. So, yeah, it was definitely a stalling tactic. Keep her there.
I think that sometimes too, if you've been out the game for a minute and you think about, okay, I'm getting back into the game, I'm gonna date again. You have like different expectations and standards for yourself, right? You're like, okay, this is how we're gonna play it, and you have like a whole timeline, and you have the do's and the don'ts, and you know exactly what it's gonna be. And then you get into something, and then you start to realize like maybe some of your rules and regulations aren't really necessarily working the way that you thought they were gonna work. And I think that was part of it too. She was probably like, this happened 3 months too soon. We had another 3.5 months left before I gave up the cookie. Like, what happened last night? So because it went off the rails.
That's more your thing, because
that's
how
more my thing.
I'm a Virgo too. I'm a Virgo, and I do have to plan, blah blah blah. Right. But it's like sometimes I don't have a timeline. It's just like it has to be in a certain order. Whereas with Karina, she has a timeline. She's like, okay, so in 3 months you're gonna get the cookie. In about 6 or 7 months, we can start talking. We're not gonna move in, but we're gonna start talking about what our future plans are.
Me.
Yeah, she got a timeline. Whereas I will agree with those same things, but I don't really care how soon it happens. It just needs to happen in this particular order. Date, sex, blah blah blah, moving in, marriage, whatever. Like, that's me, and I don't really care when it happens. It just needs to happen, and it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay. Me and Russell just working through some things. No,
so we're gonna get Russell on board. Get your life together. Give up that triad lifestyle. Come to the cross.
Okay.
Lay your life down before Jesus. He wants to save you, Russell.
Yeah, we're gonna bring him to God. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah,
let God do it. Okay,
Pastor Russell and this B.
No, he can't be a pastor. I'm too wild. My kids, like, they did say the pastor's kids is the word. No, I got good kids, but no, he can't.
I'm definitely about to pop out a baby for Russell. We gotta do it. We gotta have a family,
right?
Right too. He was like,
Asian babies up in here. We gotta put some in the mix,
You said for you, Russell. I'll pop that baby out.
Russell.
Nah.
I thought I was out the game, boo.
You said, but you brought me back in.
But you talking that talk, okay?
You talking real good too.
Oh, Mr. Russell. Okay.
Let's do it.
Oh, he's a character, by the way, people. He's a character.
Yeah, ain't none of this real. Ain't none of this real.
Yeah. Alrighty. So I'm gonna read the next one.
Yes,
it says, Chan was way too calm about not using protection with Malia. Malia seemed horrified when she learned of what they had done. When he spoke of the woman who was Googling his net worth, in hopes of getting pregnant, that was crazy too. It shocked me how cold he was when he spoke of her. I noticed Malia seemed uncomfortable as hell. What would you have thought? I would have thought, okay, so that was an ex, so of course he's going to feel, he's not going to talk.
It was more like somebody I guess he was talking to. It was like some chick he was talking to.
Right. So it wasn't even an ex, you know what I mean? So, but the coldness and the kind of casual way of it, like, yeah, I have
what?
My net worth, and she's sitting there thinking like, okay, does this Negro does he have any other kids? He probably got kids he don't know about. Like,
wait a minute,
was he trying to get me pregnant, or who is these people? Because she know what she do. Like she said, I got checked out after me and Mike broke up, and I only had been with Mike and blah blah blah. She don't know what this dude has been. She probably like, yo, did you give me some? You could give me some. Everything ain't just babies.
Everything ain't babies.
Everything ain't babies. Gotta put that on a mug. Everything ain't babies. But No, you like she said, AIDS, STDs. That's what I'm trying to say. And so yeah, but he told her that they started off, and then you at some point he was just like, "Fuck it, you gonna get this raw," and so he gave it to her raw, and I, poor baby.
First, we was using protection. He say, "But you definitely got this, like
He's
bareback, baby. You got it."
You throwing this back? I gotta feel every piece of this. So yeah.
I want to feel all them walls, the bare walls.
So,
I want to know what it do, what
and
it look
then
like,
going
what
to
it tastes
start
like.
off and that's why you were so.
Let me stop, because we doing Kegels.
Okay, I keep up with my Kegels. Lord Jesus. So yeah, that's what I would have thought. Like, okay, what? I wouldn't have been horrified, so to speak, if Russell decided he wasn't going to use any protection. But then maybe it was the fact that she didn't remember. Like,
yeah, there is, yeah.
That would be horrifying to be like.
It's like, why did I remember? It's like, can I drink that much?
Yeah, right. Like you
letting somebody raw dog you.
Right, wait, you got the sword cat to prove it, so you know that you did what you did. But it's like, wait a minute. You got to ask about certain aspects of what happened. Yeah, that would be pretty horrifying to genuinely not know.
Yeah, it's like, why don't I remember this?
Right. That's when I would be like, what was in there?
I know, because you've been trying to get it for a while, because I know you have protection. Like, come on, like, why you put something on?
Right.
Work with me.
She don't know how active he was. I mean, he ended up telling her 3-something years or whatever, but
I'm thinking like, yeah, right.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, no, you ain't.
I was like, we need a man on here today. We need Brother General on here to be like, Brother General.
Brother General. I haven't met him yet.
Watching, honey, one forever asked him, be like, so did you think, Brother General, that
right, like
if Chan really waited 3 years and you think he was capping for Malia? Do you think that Chan was capping? You think it's been longer than 3 years? Oh, I ain't been with nobody 3 years. You think he's lying? I think he's lying though.
Nah. Men can only beat their meat for so long, but especially with him, he's paid some ladies for the night or whatever.
He's been getting something.
He has. He just don't want
like he's been out here just dry.
3 years.
Got nothing.
I'm like, of all the lies, like a lie don't care.
3-year lie.
But
you haven't had a relationship, but I think you've had relations.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you answer that? I know I did. No, you didn't answer that.
No, I've been in here going back and forth. One question was, I think she was a little scared, but like you said, I think it was more of the fact that she couldn't remember, and that's why she was like, wait a minute, did we? Like, how come she didn't remember? That type of thing. And then about the woman who Googled his net worth, I'm like, how did he find out? So was he tracking her too? Because he was really cold, and I think Malia's always seen like a very genuine side of him, very sweet, and then for him to just kind of be like reading something like, that bitch Googled me and found out she could get over 100,000 in child support. Malia's like, what? Like, she's probably thinking, why are you even telling me this? And then like, damn, you can get that much from one kid?
Okay. Right. Like, hold on. Let's
a minute.
I got a secret.
Let's talk about this. No.
Right.
I think that she just saw how cold he was. Like, she's like, I've never heard him call a woman the B word before. Like, why? I'm like, and it was pretty jacked up if somebody would do that to you, right? But at the same time, to me, it's like, well, who was she to you? I think she probably had questions, but just didn't ask to him to elaborate on it more. Because I bet you if he would have elaborated on it more, he probably didn't really know her like that anyway. He probably met her somewhere, at like some little club or, upscale bar or some kind of event, and was probably one of them people he told us, well, all I had to do was look at her and I got them draws. So it was probably something like that where it was like, you started talking to somebody, you probably didn't really go very far, but you found out early on she want to know what that net worth is so she can know if she want to Netflix and chill. What's your net worth? I mean, that's what he didn't want that young Miami action on his appearance. So
Netflix and chill. Hold on. I can buy a house.
But that ain't the blessings of God in my life. I don't need it. I don't want no anchor baby.
Not the direction God wanted me to go. Not right now.
That's not the life that God wanted for me. he didn't even need to do all that. So I think that was why Malia felt uncomfortable. What would I have thought? I would have been freaked out too. I mean, she hasn't been on birth control for a while, and she's at a very fertile age in life where you can get pregnant on the first time smashing. So I think she was just like, oh my God, we did this multiple times. So now I have multiple chances. It's like the odds have increased dramatically in my favor of getting pregnant. Oh my God, we've only been dating a month. Jesus, no, Jesus, no. You know, and so I think she was a little alarmed, like, I'm gonna have to stop over at Rite Aid, Walgreens, and get me something because this is not okay. So yeah, I think she was right for being freaked out. So I would
she could have been a little upset with herself too, because this ain't the first time she woke up and don't remember stuff. You know,
don't remember everything, like bits and pieces. Yeah. And you know, she asked questions like, he was like, oh, I'm good, like, I've been tested. And she's like, she's been tested too. But at the same time, like, I need to see your paper. I need to see your report. Where's that piece of paper at? Like, I need to be able to read over this line by line. Be able to look at it. Because you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. It don't mean that it's real, right? You said a pie chart. But I want to be able to look at that myself. So that's using responsibility when wanting to be sexually, active. Everybody being tested, looking at those reports, because I can't take your word for it. People are liars. They lie. You ain't gonna lie and have me die. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just touching me. So the next question is mine. It says, when Malia spoke of her past relationship going south with Mike, Chan came unglued as he tried to keep it together. He said to himself angrily, he feels like he has to clean up the mess Mike caused in Malia's life. Do you think most people feel that way when they are talking to a new person about their past relationship? Question mark. Or was Chan just acting selfish? I think Chan was being a little selfish, but I do feel like everybody comes into a relationship with some form of package, some baggage from the past. I mean, it's like I'm gonna say it's impossible for you to have been in the dating world, dating people, and not have baggage. What is the baggage? Cheating, lying, somebody was resentful of you or jealous of you in a relationship, just or belittling you, demeaning you, playing psychological games with you. Everybody gains experience from the relationships that they have been in the past, and everybody takes that with them. And some of what we're seeing with Chan, he want to act like he's over there mopping up Malia's floor with all her mess when he's had issues in the past. Yeah, he got his own problems, right? He has issues in the past where he's been cheated on. He's had issues in the past where women have Googled his net worth to find out if he was worth a Netflix and chill. And Malia's getting the brunt of that now, right? He's being stocked at a high capacity, right? Who's being followed? Whose phones are being through her phones? He's having her surveillance. So don't act like it's just Malia coming into a relationship now with all her madness for Mike. Right. She's coming into this relationship with hurts and pains and trauma, and he's coming into it as well. But, I think Malia's more, open with her stuff. Like, he probably was thinking, we just had like an incredible night last night. We got all this food on this table. We got this amazing view on this balcony. It's a beautiful sunny day. You gonna bring up Mike's dusty tail? Okay. Like, he was just looking at her like, can't believe you'd bring up his name after everything I've done for you. So I think Malia's gonna have to probably chill out a little bit with that Mike stuff. But that's what happens when you get with somebody and they're like, I just want to be your best friend. I want to be able to talk about everything, because eventually they're gonna tell you to shut the hell up. I don't want to hear his name ever again. Don't bring up his name.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like how he was like, no, this is my mess I gotta clean up. When you got a whole surveillance team that not just bugged her, but bugged her house, bugged her business, bugged her people's place, because stuff happened in the past. Basically, he don't want to get played, or he don't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, so do you see Malia having to clean stuff up? Like, it's crazy how some men could just forget about their drama and focus on your baggage as if you're the issue. And I'm like, nah, we both got some issues.
We're in this together, player.
Bringing Mike up, bringing up an ex right after smashing the current, probably wasn't the best move. But if that was what was on her mind at the time, that's what's on her mind. She needed to be able to talk to him about everything.
Right. You said you want to be my best friend. Let's go.
Okay. I'm telling you that I don't want just sex and I want this to be something deeper. So this is part of what we're going to talk about. And, you know, if you want to bring up yours, whatever. But, and she didn't bring up Mike sort of like, you know, like in a, oh, I miss him, or, you know, I always wondered what that would have turned into. You know, it wasn't nothing like that. It was like, for sure, like, yeah, F this dude, and I'm not trying to go through that again, you know.
I don't want to be hurt all over again. I want to be used again. Like, she was just saying that, you know, she's really vibing with him, and she likes where because Malia told him, I like where the relationship has gone between us, and I hope it doesn't go off the rails now that we've introduced sex. I don't want it to all be purely physical. Like, I like what we have, what we're, you know, what we're building. And he was like, I like it too, and let's keep it at like what we're doing. And so she was just like, in my last relationship with Mike, things got really ugly. I got hurt, and I don't have the emotional capacity to deal with that slap in the face again. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when she said his name, he just turned. He was like,
yeah, she and you know, she might still have some walls up, you know, and he's letting him know.
It's only been a month and a half, so yeah.
Right. You know, I'm like, y'all just you know, like, you new to this. Basically.
New to the game.
It is. And so that could, you know, in a way, kind of letting him know, like, okay, some of these walls is up, and I don't want to go down this road again. That's what built these walls. Basically, how to bring them walls down. She's letting them know, like, hey, this is, you know, this is something different. This ain't just a smash. I don't want this to
smash and pass, baby.
All this effort and time. Put all this effort and time just to have sex, and then now we can't be, you know, now we're weird with each other and stuff.
Yeah, like, nobody wants to do that.
Nobody.
It's not worth it. Nope.
So yeah, I definitely agree. It probably wasn't the time to bring that up. You know, they're having a good breakfast. She's still trying to get all the all the details of the evening down, and then, you know, yeah, her head hurts. The medicine hasn't kicked in yet. She needs to eat. She probably got to pee. She want her clothes. Want to go home. Her cat's they're like, there's a whole bunch of things.
Babe, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, and as women, you know, one thing can happen when we got a lot of stuff on our mind. One thing could happen, and it gonna all come out.
I think we all any relationship you're gonna get into, you're gonna bring your baggage in. I think with bringing that baggage, that those are my bags, right? And so that's for me to unpack. It's for me to deal with. It's for me to work on, right? And so now that I have an older son and he dates, you know, one of the things that I'm constantly talking to him about is like, it's good to like be there for the girl that you're talking to, getting to know her. But it's really important to know that you can't rescue people, you know, and you don't have the power to heal anybody. You're not Merlin the magician. We don't have the power to ratify anything that's happened in anybody else's life. All we can do is be there as they go through their own journey of healing through emotional damage, what was done in the past, relationships, family, friend, whatever.
Right.
All we can do is just be there. And I think that this whole mentality of like when Chan's talking about something, he got to clean it up. I get really tired of people feeling like they have to fix somebody who they feel has some brokenness. We all have some brokenness. It's not your job to fix her brokenness, and it's definitely not my job to fix yours because I can't. If I could, I would already wave the wand, honey. Get this little power cord and act like it's something different.
I have a Harry Potter wand, but collector's item. I love it. This is my
Harry Potter. Well, you got a birthday coming up here soon, so I'm gonna have to ask you some questions. I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, I gotta ask her about her birthday because I gotta get you something. And I know you like some Harry Potter stuff.
Well, see, Jalen beat you to it. It wasn't a birthday present, but he knows his mama. He's been getting me gifts, and he rebought the whole book series because I had a book. It's the collector's edition. Whoop whoop. And he also gave me a wand, and then those pop characters, you know, the big head dolls or whatever. He got me a Harry Potter that. So
that was really sweet of him. You know, he a good son.
He is. That's my baby. That's my firstborn.
And now he's what? Is he 20?
He's 20. Yeah, see, that's what I'm telling y'all my old age. Okay. Don't be
I can't even believe it. You ain't old. Shut your mouth. Looking like you 19. Yeah. I just feel like We all come into relationships with our issues, but again, that bag has my name on it. That's for me to unpack or not unpack. Like my mom, when she gets back from vacation, she always like, oh, let me go put my stuff away. I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of those people that when I travel, all the essentials need to come out. Like dirty clothes are getting washed immediately, and toiletries. Everything else in that bag that's clean can stay in that bag. There have been bags I've had for months, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's where that dress is at. Now I have to go back in there and get it because I never unpacked that bag, right? So because that's my bag, it's my stuff, that's for me to deal with. And so when he had this whole attitude like, I gotta fix this. A lot of people come into relationships thinking that they need to clean up somebody else's mess. But a lot of people come into relationships feeling like you gonna pay for what the last man did to me, or you have to make up for what the last woman did to me because she lied, she took from me, I did, and now you're gonna have to prove yourself. So a lot of people come into situations and they feel like, so I'm being punished for what the last person did. No, I don't want to be here because you ain't healed enough for my taste buds. You know what I mean? So we all have to work on healing ourselves, and going through our own stuff. Don't walk into any situation feeling like you need to unpack somebody else's bags and clean it up. And a lot of times people see really strong potential with somebody. They're like, this person would be awesome if they could just get past that point. And you want to help them get over that hump. It's not for me to help you get over that hump, though. You know what I mean? Some things are standing in people's way of them becoming better. And it is unfortunate they can't see it for themselves. But please don't go into any relationship thinking that you got to mop up a mess. Because you don't, and if that person wants to be with you, they have to deal with their own mess. So,
right. It's like, oh, I gotta clean this up. Who said that? Who said you had to clean up anything? I didn't even want you in my business. You put yourself
didn't want you in it though.
Okay.
And let's be honest, like Chan kind of took eminent domain over Malia, and she didn't even know if she had a choice or didn't have a choice. So like, stop fronting, like stop doing it. So.
Right.